Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to Let's Try the Diablo 4 beta. This month, there are 2 weekend beta tests going on for Diablo 4. One, I think, is only available for the pre-order, which is this one, and the next one, I think, is just generally available. They are going to be sort of testing out some of the mechanics, stress testing the servers, that sort of thing. And so far, the weekend seems to have been quite successful for Diablo 4. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to put a ton of hours into it. I had a really packed schedule this weekend, so I've only been able to sneak in a little bit. I gave the 3 classes that are currently unlocked in this pre-order beta, the Barbarian, the Mage or Wizard, I can't remember what the class is called, and the sort of roguey Thief. I think it's just called Rogue, but I can't recall actually. What do we got? Yeah, Rogue, there we go. Excellent. Currently in this beta, the Necromancer and the Druid are unavailable, although I think they might be available next weekend, so it'll be interesting to see. So as you can see, I haven't gone very deeply into the game. I'm going to load up the my Wizard here, Quillmancer, which has the most XP, but even then, not that much. We'll take a little look-see at the game. I will tell you this, straight off the bat, the game is absolutely gorgeous. The sounds are really good and impactful and crunchy. Especially, I've been playing a lot of Last Epoch lately, and I like Last Epoch a lot. I think of all the action RPGs I've played, and I like them a lot, Last Epoch has by far the best itemization and crafting system that I feel, and a stupendous loot filter as well. I also think that the character class building system in Last Epoch is really good. I also like Grim Dawn. Diablo 2 was cool. Diablo 3, I personally didn't care for as much because I like building very crunchy, theory-crafty builds, and I felt like Diablo 3 was lacking that. Here in Diablo 4, we've got an actual skill tree and an actual amount of crunch that goes on. Navigating it is kind of interesting and different because you're progressing through it linearly. Like, it doesn't have like the 3 different trees, for example, that Diablo 2 would have for your classes. Instead, you need to have a certain amount of points invested in your class as a whole to get to the next tier of skills whatsoever. So I need 4 more points spent anywhere in this tree to be able to start unlocking the skills over on this node over here. So you're not, you don't have like specific trees for various elements or things like that going on. So it's quite different. The way it works is you spend a point to unlock an ability. You can then continue to level up the ability. All of them, as far as I can tell, I think they all go up to rank 5, at least the ones I've noticed so far. So at first you get your basic abilities. These, regardless of class, don't tend to cost resources. And in fact, if you're looking at the Barbarian, they tend to be a rage generator. So here Spark is free, just does some lightning damage. And then after that, you do get to upgrade it. So each of them, well, again, as a general rule, it seems to be pretty much the case. Each will have a basic upgrade that you can do, and then you have to choose between one of 2 different sub-upgrades, and these are mutually exclusive. So you choose one, you don't get the other. And then, yeah, as you get enough points, you get to the next level. So I've unlocked Chain Lightning over here. I've actually invested 5 points into it. It bounces around a really cool, sexy way. It seems to even be a really good single target one because it will bounce back to you if needed. It doesn't damage you. And in fact, I took the upgrade where if it... Oh, I didn't take the one where if it bounces off of me, it increases the damage. Do I want to change my mind about that? Right now, it's quite easy to respec. You can right-click to refund a point and then put it back. The amount it costs will depend, I think it scales with your level. There's also a refund all button over here to quickly unspend all your points and redo them, which is really convenient. Assuming, like, I think for the first 15 levels, they said this was free. Although clearly it's not. Maybe it's not the first 15 levels. Maybe it was the first 10 levels. It's free, which is good because it doesn't punish people who are just starting off. But I do hope, and I expect, also I like that you can expand this, I expect that the cost is going to scale up quite a bit for that, so that you're not going to do it willy-nilly, because that's one of my complaints with Diablo 3 is I felt like there was no real commitment to your skills because you could sort of just switch them on the fly. Anyway, that's just a very brief look at the skill system. Again, I have not played anywhere near enough to get a real good crunchy sense as to what we have to concern ourselves with. I have gotten some uniques here. Well, these legendary boots, which is giving me a rank of teleport, which is really convenient. I've got another one that I'm not wearing. Anyway, let's go and wander around. You can see some people are moving around on the map over here. There is sort of a shared, sort of almost MMO-ish kind of experience and things. The towns are huge hubs, really large areas, and there is a lot of options as to the direction that you're going to go in. It's not linear like Diablo 2, Diablo 3. Most action RPGs, in fact. Path of Exile, you've got basically a linear progression through the main campaign. You know, maybe the end game changes up a little bit, but here it's very much, we have some hubs that we can travel between. I've got another town that I've unlocked over here, and out of that you can go in a variety of different directions. There's a lot of side quests that you can pick up. If we open up our journal over here, so I've got my primary campaign quests, I've got side quests over here, priority quests that are thrown in as well. We've got our global list in general. We can filter it, we can quickly go and find something. There's also a bunch of extra little side dungeons that you can do. Completing them for the first time gives you a specific reward, and presumably we could go and regrind it, although it's probably not worth doing that for a side dungeon. Let's go after, I was thinking maybe I should go for a side quest and not sort of spoil things, but I think I want to go for a more significant quest. You can see here we are locked in terms of how far we can go in the beta here. But yeah, let's go. We can click on a quest to like specifically track it. In addition to that, you can right click on the map to get a path towards a thing. If I go and waypoint to Yelezna, then we can save ourselves a little travel time. As one would expect, the story seems good, voice acting, like there's some great vibes going on in here. Every character has got an evade move on it starts off 5-second cooldown. I have gotten an item on my rogue, actually, a unique item. I don't know if it was unique, actually. It might have just been a random rare that gave me +1 charge on it, which was really convenient. So here we got some critters. So you can map your actions to whatever button you want. Here's my basic attack, and it's chaining a little bit. And if I right click and I get my lightning strike, it does quite a bit. My right click, the chain lightning here, does use mana. And that'll basically be it. I got my teleport over here as well, plus the evade. Just zap that. Oh, affected that to chain a little bit more. Just try to get a little more XP as we go towards our primary target. I am running on veteran mode. There's two sort of difficulty settings currently available. Level 1, level 2. I think it's adventure and veteran. It gives you the option to choose it when you start the game, but you can change it whenever you want by going to this statue or shrine in the middle of town. The veteran mode, everything's, you know, got more hit points, does a little bit more damage. You do get more XP and gold, although I suspect that overall it's slower progression, but the idea being that it's a more interesting challenge for people who are experienced. Okay, we're in Pine Hill. We've discovered a new zone. Potions, currently capped at 4. I don't know if that's something that changes with an item like a belt or something like that. We can drink it, pick it up. We've got that. We've reached our destination. That was our pin. Oh, we've got some ore veins over here. So there's a variety of sort of on-the-map items. There's like fruits and berries you can find sometimes, plus these ore veins. Killing some enemies will get them to drop various leathers. And these are all used for a sort of crafting system. Doesn't feel super craftery. It feels more like you're upgrading things or generating things. Like you're not necessarily crafting things yourself, I feel like, if I'm recalling correctly. I think when it was like talking to an NPC and giving them the material to craft things, but we'll see.
I know what I saw. She had horns like a beast. So
some people felt like I got one comment on my Twitter saying that they're unhappy that the cutscenes are made in the game engine as opposed to pre-rendered. There are pre-rendered cutscenes, but there are a lot more cutscenes in terms of ways to tell the story as opposed to just reading dialogue in a dialogue box. So I think the in-engine cutscene does enable them to do a lot more storytelling via this, and I feel like the visuals are perfectly fine for me. I don't know. I am running the game. I should address this. I'm running the game currently on the high quality preset over here, and I haven't adjusted anything, so everything is basically maxed out. The one thing is I was getting weird sort of lag every now and again, some stuttering. Someone pointed out if you disable the high quality assets in the installer, which are kind of meant for people playing at like 4K and bigger, like super high res, performance would improve, and that's indeed the case. There's no good reason that the performance should have been bad. This is my brand new computer with amazing, really good hardware. There shouldn't have been any poor performance anywhere along the way, so that seems to be more of a, maybe there's some sort of implementation glitch over there, but that's not the sort of thing that I would take away from the engine. There's clearly, that feels like, okay, there's something a little bit wonky on that setup rather than just something being inherently wrong with the game, because otherwise performance seems to be fantastic. This makes me feel like I'm playing Path of Exile. My League starters is almost always some sort of arc caster. Sometimes direct casting, sometimes arc totems, but it's almost always when I play it first because it just feels really good. I like the sort of implicit AoE, right, of things bouncing around, but visually it's always a treat. So most games that offer some sort of arc lightning kind of build, I usually have at least one character that does it just because it's fun. Tap you. I wouldn't mind if it employed a mechanic I've seen in other games, most recently last Epoch. I'm going to reference it because I've been playing it more lately, where if you're injured but your potions are full and you walk over a potion, that it just like consumes the one on the ground. But there might be players that don't want that kind of behavior, so I'm not going to say it's a mistake to go one way or another, but I saw that happen in last Epoch and I was like, ah, that's pretty smart. I think that's cool. Now, hopefully we can get to an interesting boss fight. Oh, we got sort of an elite here. Because the boss fights already have been very impressive in this game. One of my favorite aRPGs is Grim Dawn by far. If you like action RPGs and you haven't played Grim Dawn, you are doing yourself a disservice. It often comes on a pretty deep sale, and it is a fantastically stupendous game. Really cannot recommend Grim Dawn enough. But the one thing that it lacks, and it has the best map, it has great character building, great build diversity. I mean, okay, it's not a Path of Exile because nothing's a Path of Exile, but it's probably second best. It's got hundreds of viable builds, as opposed to infinitude viable builds. But Grim Dawn does lack really cool epic feeling boss fights. You know, really like set piece boss fights. Mostly they're just like a dude that's a little bit stronger and might be annoying with some of the spells.
Over here.
I'm surprised there's not a big fight happening here, actually. Let's go to the next skill cluster over here, and oh, I did like my Diablo 2 Hydra builds. Oh, I did experiment with Lightning Spear. It's quite cool. It's like, feels a lot like Yondu's ability from Guardians of the Galaxy with the little arrow. Here, let's put a pin in this. This is actually very entertaining. And then, yeah, you can drag it to your toolbar, but we'll leave it there. With only one rank, it might not be the deathliest, but...
Quick thinking.
Let's find a group and use it, please. Okay. There you go. Lightning Spear. Yeah, so it's... Oh, I got knocked down, too. So it's got a pretty big cooldown. It'll need a couple more ranks to really hit with a lot of damage, but yeah, I do like that it flies around. It feels great when it does that. And no mana potions, which I have seen that design more and more with aRPGs, and I think it does lead to an actual better kind of oh, there you go, there's another spear. See? And it just keeps buzzing around like that. I'm not controlling or anything like that. It's just on its own. So yeah, very much Yondu's arrow from Guardians of the Galaxy, and it feels fantastic. So yeah, by not having mana potions, then you can balance the system in a very different way. It's just the same way that like most action RPGs have tried to move away from the concept of sort of like chugging potions, right? Potions, you either have a very, like health potions, I mean, you either have a very limited number of them, and or they have a cooldown, and or they heal over time, which means, again, back-to-back chugging doesn't really do anything, because there's two possibilities in the RPG. Either if you have a bunch of consumables, then you kind of have to assume that people are going to spam drink them for boss fights. Therefore, you have to balance around that concept, which means people do have to spam drink them for like big showpiece boss fights. And that's not necessarily fun, as it turns out. So if you go and minimize more and more and just keep it as sort of an emergency button, you know, then all of a sudden you can balance your game in what is probably a more fun way.
I'm not ready.
And I think that's the correct trend. It's tricky. You kind of still need the emergency button. Health potions feel like they still need to exist. Diablo 3 did a really good job in for its out-of-combat healing to try to avoid using health potions as just out-of-combat healing by having enemies drop those little health orbs that you sort of just scoop up when you do things. Grim Dawn has their... Is it called the Constitution system? Where your health... You sort of have a secondary health bar, and outside of combat, it re-heals. Your primary health bar heals off the secondary. That was really well done.
An opening.
So curious. You are eager to know why you were spared.
Yes.
Do you have faith in me?
I love this chain lightning so much. There's a reason I put a full investment into it. I haven't really been picking up too many items. I wonder if anything's an upgrade. Oh, I only have one ring, so that's a clear upgrade. Oh, that's some damage. We got another rare item, a piercer. Doesn't sound like my kind of thing, though. Yeah, just dagger. No. Okay. I could transfer it over to my rogue, but I don't think I'm gonna.
I'm not ready yet.
I think the teleport could be used offensively because it does actually make damage when you arrive somewhere.
I'm not ready yet.
Oh, that's you. But that's not entirely the vibe I'm going for. I really shouldn't do anything that encouraged me to jump into combat.
I need time to prepare that. Needed mana.
Hello.
I'm out of mana.
There, that was a great example of like just obliterating a single target.
Mastered your fear, but I still sense your pain. You miss your daughter.
Go spear. Yeah, I'm gonna have to invest some more points in that so it does more damage. I do love how long it flies around though. And I have seen a couple of items that do buff specific skills, so I'm expecting there to be a lot of that in the game. I mean, maybe not so much in the beta, or maybe there is. Oh, it'll explode a dude. Get away from him. And so if there's something that like reduces the cooldown for the spear, or just makes it last a lot longer, or multiply in some way, that's going to be great. So if I go here, the damage will go from 29 per hit to 32, which isn't huge, but it's something. After critical strike, lightning spear gains 5% increased stacking critical strike chance. I think there's quite a few things with the lightning skills that do seem to stack with critical. Oh, also, instead of upgrading a skill, there's also these things that are just sort of pure passives over here. Lightning spear stuns enemies for 2 seconds when critically struck. Crackling energy. Right, so a lot of the lightning skills have an ability that can have it drop crackling energy that you pick up, and then when the charge bar fills up, then you spark around you, which is quite cool. So you could really like commit to stacking that so that you just generate it constantly, basically, because you're always picking it up and you're always sparking around you. I think I'm just gonna go for some base damage right now on the lightning spear. It critting's not gonna matter that much if the base damage still isn't that high. Although, again, per point, you know, how much is it adding? I don't know.
I'm not ready.
What was that? About what was the damage difference? Hang on. Yeah, so it's adding about 10% more damage per point. Which seems pretty good to me. Arguably better than 5% crit. Although it does stack per crit. And then if assuming increased crit damage is a stat that you can increase in this game, which it typically is, it wouldn't surprise me. Ooh, that's going to be a serious little encounter.
Out of mana once again.
Using the spacebar to charge out. Oh, did he get tripped up by Neril? That's interesting. Ah, you are quite useful. Too bad your mom's gonna try to sacrifice you, I'm betting. Oh, you're still alive. Not interested in picking up the non-magic staff. I assume it's not gonna be worthwhile. Maybe it'll turn out that it's such a high base that it would be an upgrade over my current one, but it feels fairly unlikely. Oh, that didn't arc. I think if enemies are slightly too far, sometimes they're like not, I don't know, active or something, so they're not valid arc targets. Or maybe it had something to do with the elevation right there. That's also possible.
This barrier. It looks like the same kind of magic as before.
Demon's approach. We need to get through.
I think I can dispel it.
Okay, so I have to probably be protecting you.
man once again.
Yeah.
I need time.
Oh, the Conjuration is my lightning spear. Okay. So I saw something about Conjurations on the character sheet. Or like, one of the passive upgrades was something about like do bonus whatever for each Conjuration you have. I'm like, well, I don't know what a Conjuration is, but yeah, there it is. Conjuration Shock. This is a basic shock, and there's a core shock. The basic, I think those are the ones that are always free. It's the first one you get. Ah. Opens the door. Anything over here? No? Alright. Morning Shore. Step 3 of 4 of this particular quest.
Enough blood. Never enough blood. I will follow you to the ends of Sanctuary, Mother.
Yeah, this seems fine. Speaking of blood, we got a healing well there. Looks pretty bloody. Dead priest. Huge gash across its neck has drained him of his blood.
There she is.
Go ahead. I have your back.
Mother?
Nirel. You're just in time. Beyond this lake lies the necropolis of the firstborn. A trove of magic and knowledge.
Is this the thing from the opening cutscene?
I opened the way for Lilith, but I could not pass through with her.
Maybe not.
I lack divine element, you see.
Stop.
But I can find it. I'm so close. I simply need...
Mother, stop. Look at what Lilith has done to you. You're writing in your own blood.
My little magpie. She awakened me. She showed me things I can't even put into words. Once I've finished, you will understand.
I don't care what she showed you. Please, let's just get out of here.
Oh, I see. Yes, clever magpie. Trying to lead me away so you can take all this for yourself. This is my discovery, not yours. I will finish these runes with your blood.
What a shocking twist! Oh, you're immune.
Look at the gifts she's given me.
What are we interacting with? All right. Oh, it's still arcing to her despite being immune. That's somewhat annoying. Oh, there's a... Oh! Okay, well, let's not standing there. Yeah, the arc's really not working out in this fight. Oh, I'm being vulnerable. I'm just single targeting here. Are you... Oh, are you taking damage as we kill these? Or you're damaging yourself, maybe. You might be summoning these with your blood. Okay. I don't know if you should be standing in there. Seems like a bad idea. I'm just saying. I like how it tells me I dodged that, despite me standing literally still. I could have physically dodged it, in reality. But no. I would never do something like that. Yeah, she's definitely losing health. Yeah, I keep standing close to her when she does that. Is she gonna light all the runes this time? I guess they are all lit. Oh, that's a big boy. Hello. Oh, I like, you can get blinded like that, either from smoke clouds or some sort of blinding effect. And it literally dims your vision. Oh, I don't want to be in there. There you go. Focusing on the Pit Lord. That was a misclick. Sorry about that. There we go. I'm happy I put, I think I've got 5 points in my basic ability. You only need 2 points in it to go to the next tier of stuff.
No!
Oh, only 3 points. Okay. And an enhanced spark. Seems to be a fairly good investment to put points in the base ability, though.
You were protecting me. I don't want to hate you. I'm trying. I really am. We're going to make Lilith pay for what she's done. So we need blessed blood. Go back to your Prava. Get that blessing. Beg if you need to. Whatever it takes. My mother started this damn ritual. I'm going to finish it. Meet me in the Mistral Woods.
Sure, this seems like a good ritual to finish.
The Horadrim hid a vault there. Finding it was her life's work. So much for that. Maybe it will help with the ritual. If not, at least I can bury her where she'd want. I need time. I'm sorry. Just leave me.
Okay. Well, that's a big chunk of XP. Do I just portal out of here? I guess so. Alright. Let's head back to town. No big treasure at the end of this one. Big fight! But not against a single big boss monster with a singular epic loot. There you go. We're back in town. We're seeing other players again. What else did I get here? Mother's Knife. Yeah, not for me. This one, all stats. Nope, definitely not. Yeah, that would be a downgrade. Although, I don't know if I equip a wand, can I offhand? Yeah. That is interesting all of a sudden. Yeah, because then it lets me put a relic in there. Right now, the staff still seems like it's overall giving me more. I mean, it helps that it's rare. So I guess I'll keep using the staff. Maybe I should bank a decent one-handed and offhanded, because then if I find a decent other half, we could do that. Healer. Oh yeah, upgrade potion. I wonder if I've got the material for that. I mean, my potion is basically full healing me now. But let's take a quick little gander here.
Well, you certainly have the look of someone who spends a lot of time in the wild. I have some extra materials we can use.
All right. Potency can be upgraded.
Kettle's hot. What do you need?
I'm player level 10. There we go. Okay, I'm high enough level. I could have done it a while ago. It needs 2 Gallavine, which I have plenty of. So it's going to go from 17 instant and 35% max. So it looks like 35% max stays, which makes sense because it goes to life. But the instant gets a lot bigger. And then, yeah, 20, I'll do it again. I've got the material for that. That's going to be okay. We can craft elixirs, right? I have consumables over here. And then refine. Well, I'm not going to bother with that now because I don't know that I need it for anything. I don't have the ability to get a mount right now. Extraction and imprinting. Oh, that's a quest. Oh, these priority quests. I think they're sort of tutorial-y. So over here is the blacksmith or whatever. I think I interacted with this guy on my other character, but maybe not this one. Yeah, I want to upgrade my equipment. Yeah, we get dialogue. There we go. So I'm going to salvage everything that's been marked as junk.
You can take what's left.
Yeah, Mother's Knife. And that as well. I'll mark it as junk.
I need time.
Oh, can I not mark as junk right now? Interesting. But presumably I can...
Came apart nicely.
Oh, I can't salvage this item. Oh yeah, it says cannot salvage.
Anything breaks, the forge is hot.
It may be because it's a fixed drop, so they don't want it to be farmable. I wonder if I can still sell it. My equipment looks like we're fine for repairs. Upgrade. Or is it? No, it does not need to be repaired. Yeah, durability is fine. Maybe durability is not a problem in the beta, or it's not a problem unless you die. Maybe it's you lose durability on death, and I haven't done that yet. So, oh, I have 14 iron chunks and I need 65. Or wait, or does it need 14 and I have 65? It's not highlighted. I've got the money. Oh. Okay, UI is a little bit weird there because to me it didn't look like that was a lit button. Item level 1 of 3. Oh, 183 plus 5. Okay. All right, well, we'll call that good enough there. I guess while I'm in town, we'll go and check out this other priority quest.
I cannot do that.
Oh yeah, I can't use my teleport in town. I can still use my little evade, the dash forward. It's not really giving us much of a speed boost, but I still feel compelled to do it.
As I'm sure you know, even seemingly the process will break down. You might think of it as ripping the soul from one body.
Item codex power. Let's say, it wouldn't surprise me if this didn't work either. Modifies the power of a rare legendary item with the selected aspects. Item can only be imprinted once. Oh yeah, so we unlock these aspects by doing certain things. So this will give me, while channeling Incinerate, your burning damage increased 20%. You know, I was going to say, my class only, because I think I've seen some of these for other classes that do different things. Okay, well, I'm not doing either one of those things, and I'm not going to put on a knife anyway, but that's interesting to see. Extract aspect, craft sigils.
I do not have the materials.
Salvage sigils and enchant item. All right. Well, we'll leave you for now. That's going to be okay. Oh, then I need. Oh yeah, I got to go to Prava to get my blessing. Well, I might go ahead and put a little cut in here. Hopefully that was an interesting little look-see at Diablo 4. I am expecting to be playing it again next weekend as well for the somewhat more open, the beta, which I think might include other classes. I don't know if it's going to unlock more content either, but we're going to see. Anyway, that is a quick look at Diablo 4. I am very excited for this. I love action RPGs. I had been quite disappointed by Diablo 3 because I'm not saying Diablo 3 is a bad game in any way whatsoever, but it definitely was not the aRPG for me because of the sort of parts of action RPGs that interest me in terms of how you build your character and things I felt were lacking in Diablo 3, and so it didn't vibe with me. But Diablo 4 seems like it probably will work. If anything else, I'll probably play through it at least the one time for the story because Diablo stories are pretty good. But the question mark will be about whether or not I end up playing it long term, and that'll depend entirely on how it actually feels to build your character. I mean, it's not like, so far it's not feeling like there's a tremendous amount of like build diversity because you are sort of, by design, it feels like you're sort of going to be grabbing one thing, maybe not literally every tier, although maybe you'll backfill this as you keep leveling up, but it's not feeling like a tremendous amount of variation necessarily right now. I don't think that's actually fair for me to say. These are all picking a different thing here or picking a different thing at this level will make your character feel pretty different from one another. And I do expect that a lot of the variation in the character design is going to come from the items, because it does seem like there's a lot of items that modify skills. And so that might be a big part of your build, is not just what skill you take, but what item you use to empower it. So I'm fingers crossed. There's just not enough information yet, and I haven't played enough yet to really get to properly grok the skill build diversity. But yeah, that to me, that's a big part of any ARPG. I want to be able to look at those. In any case, it's certainly a lot better than Diablo 3. Whether it holds up to Grim Dawn, and which is, I think, is really, really, really strong, and Last Epoch, which is still under development but looking very promising, we shall see. And Path of Exile, I did play a million. I don't know. I mean, easily well over 1,000 hours, I think. I can't remember the number, but I did play a lot of Path of Exile. Eventually, the shine on that has worn off a little bit on me because I felt like it became too late game grinding kind of vibe to me. I'm looking forward to what kind of changes they continue to push forward with as they move towards Path of Exile 2, so we'll see. But for now, I continue to be excited about Diablo 4. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.